Hi everyone, my name is Camille and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking BookTok books. So if you see me looking down periodically, that's because I have my computer right in front of me. I didn't want to film with my dock cam because it's really not good quality. So yeah, let's get into it. So first up, we have The Dare by Harley LaRue. So I've heard some things about this, not really good things, so I'm going to put that in not interested. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So I've actually tried to read this and I did DNF it, but I have a copy and I really want to try to read it, so I'm going to put this in TBR. Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I've heard that this is really sad and might not address mental health in the best way, so I'm also going to put that in not interested. Okay, now we've gotten to Colleen Hoover. So I actually don't know much about this one at all, but considering the fact that there's real people on the cover and it's a Colleen Hoover book, I am going to put that in. Don't want to talk about it. Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I've heard really mixed reviews about this one. I've never read a Sally Rooney book, but I might give her books a chance, maybe Normal People or something like that, but I think I'll just put this one on not interested. If We Were Villains by ML Rio. This is definitely going on my TBR. One of my friends says it's like one of his favorite books. Piranesi. I have heard mostly good things about this. I don't know too much about it, but I will put it in TBR because it seems a little interesting. The Time Traveler's Wife. I got this in a book box and I'm planning on reading it sometime in the future, so TBR. I feel like most of the books on here are going to be on TBR. Well, now that I'm looking at it, I've read a good amount of these. What does that say? The Last Time We Say Goodbye. I've actually never heard of this. I do spend a pretty good amount of time on BookTok, but I've never heard of it, so I guess not interested. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I have a copy of this, and I'm really interested in reading it. I'm not sure if the Netflix show is good or not, but I know that it came out recently. Yeah. I tried to listen to this on audio, but I didn't really get into it, but I know that everybody raves about this book, so I'm definitely putting that in TBR. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I've heard some things about her books, and they're not really my kind of thing, so once again, not interested. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So I got The Paris Apartment in a little free library and I had it sitting on my shelf for the longest time, but almost everyone I watch has given it like a 2-star or a 3-star, and I just don't really, I'm not interested in that. And I've also heard that The Guest List is okay, so I'm not really interested. Okay, now we're getting to good stuff. So The Poppy War. I think I am going to put this in, ooh. It's either gotta be Will Sell My Soul or Liked It a Lot. I feel like maybe I should put one in between those two, but I think The Dragon Republic is better, so I'm gonna put that in Liked It a Lot. I gave that one 4.5 stars, I believe. A Touch of Darkness. Also haven't heard of this. The cover kind of looks like a dark romance, which really isn't my thing, so not interested. All the Bright Places is on my TBR. We Were Liars. I'm gonna say don't think about this, but it wasn't horrible. Because I might recommend it to some people who want like an easy book to read, but it also wasn't great. I mean, I was pretty shocked by the plot twist, but the main character was kind of well, Punk 57, I actually just read this. I'm gonna put it in wouldn't recommend. I gave that 2 stars. The Silent Patient. I'm gonna say will sell my soul to experience this again, because you can only experience that plot twist one time and it like really hit you. Like, it's such a good book. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is also going up there. One of my favorite books. I know that everybody loves it, but there's a reason why. The Ones We're Meant to Find. Also haven't heard of this. Not interested. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I have heard mixed things about her. I know that her Asian representation in Eleanor and Park wasn't great, and this is supposed to be kind of like Harry Potter fan fiction, so not interested. Okay, A Little Life. That's going in not interested. Never gonna read that one. You've Reached Sam. This one's interesting. I read about 50 pages of it, and I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. It was like really dark and gloomy and just really sad. But I think it might be a good winter book, because, you know, it's like, I think it's set in Seattle or the Pacific Northwest, and it's just like very rainy and dark. And now that it's getting to be winter, I might want to try it again. So I'll put that on my TBR. Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm not a big fantasy person, and I know that this book is gigantic, so I'm gonna put that in not interested. Haven't heard of this one, or this one. To Love, Jason Thorne. I've heard good things about this book. I think I'm gonna put that on my TBR. The Henna Wars. I've heard really good things about this book, also TBR. The Hating Game. Not interested. Where the Crawdads Sing. I think, okay, Where the Crawdads Sing is not at the level of the Poppy War, but it's not at the level of We Were Liars either. But I think it should go to Don't Think About It, because I forget that I have read this book many times. Aristotle and Dante. Okay, this book is Will Sell My Soul. One of the best queer books I've ever read. I really need to get my hands on a copy of it. Yeah, I recommend it to everybody. From Blood and Ash, not interested, not my thing. The Secret History, I'm actually 50 pages into this. It's gonna take me a long time to read, especially because I want to annotate it. Currently, I think that I'll put it in Liked It a Lot. I don't know if it's gonna be like Will Sell My Soul, but we'll have to see. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I am going to put that in Liked It a Lot as well. I think I gave it 5 stars when I originally read it, but now that I've given it some more thought, I don't think it deserves to be up there with the other books. Shadow and Bone. So I tried to read this, and it wasn't really my thing. I tried to watch the show, it wasn't either. And Six of Crows is really good, and you don't really need the context of Shadow and Bone to be able to read Six of Crows, so not really interested. Okay, Spanish Love Deception, not interested. I think I might put that one don't want to talk about it, because, yeah. My Dark Vanessa, that is on my TBR. I know that A Clockwork Reader really loves that book, as well as Newly Nova. And those are some of my favorite booktubers. The Deal by Elle Kennedy, that is going in not interested. Twisted Love. Okay. I read this whole series except for Twisted Hate because I heard that it was so bad. And yeah, this first one, it was bad, but it was almost so bad that it was good. Like, I was really entertained, and the plot twists and stuff, like, they got me. I'm pretty gullible, but I think I'm gonna put it in wouldn't recommend. I think it belongs with Punk 57. Okay, Akatar. Not interested. I basically know the whole plot of most of the series, and it's not really my thing. Yeah. Daughter of the Pirate King. I haven't heard too much about this one, but once again, not super big fantasy reader, so not really interested. Haven't heard of this one. You Deserve Each Other. So I tried to read this book. I probably listened to maybe 10% of it, and I just didn't like her writing. I don't think I'm ever gonna give it a chance. I'll probably say wouldn't recommend. Crying in H Mart. Okay, this is going in would sell my soul to experience this again, because this was such an amazing memoir, and I love Michelle Zauner. She's such a great person, and her writing is awesome, and I loved the way that she described her relationship with her mother, even though it was very fraught. I definitely recommend that one. The Love Hypothesis. That is going in not interested. Yeah, Raylo fanfiction, need I say more? Okay. My Holy Grail, Perks of Being a Wallflower. That honestly, Perks of Being a Wallflower needs its own tier, because that is my favorite book of all time. Everyone should read it. Charlie Kamekas is my favorite person ever. I don't need to say anything else. Okay, Such a Fun Age. So I was surprised that this got popular on BookTok, because it's not really in the same category as a lot of these other books, but I did give it a chance and I did finish it, but I don't even know how to describe it. It just wasn't great. I think I'm gonna say Don't Think About This, but it wasn't horrible. I don't know. I just didn't really like the characters that much. I thought that the little girl was really annoying, and the whole reveal with the... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, I think if you've read it, you know what I mean, with the guy with the girl's name. You see, I don't even remember most of it. But anyways, that wasn't really my thing either. Honey Girl? My mom has read some of this. She said that the audiobook narrator has a lisp, and that really got on her nerves. Of course, no hate to people with lisps, but sometimes things like that can just bother you if you're an audiobook reader. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll give it a chance, but it's not really on my TBR. From Lukov with Love, once again, another Mariana Zapata book. Not interested. Okay, Ninth House. We are going to Would Sell My Soul to Experience This. I really want to reread this book. It's just such a fall atmosphere, such a good vibe. I have like so many memories of listening to this and going to school and just, yeah, that top 10. No, okay, I take that back. Not a top 10 book, but very high up there. Ace of Spades, I've heard a lot of good things about. That is going on my TBR, as well as Circe. I found a Book of the Month copy of Circe in a little free library. It's actually in really good condition, as well as the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I found both of those in a book box. One of the best finds I've ever had. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, not interested. Okay, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So I tried to read The Night Circus and I DNF'd it. I am a big plot person, and also I didn't really like the characters either. So the only thing it had going for it was the fantasy, like all the magic and stuff like that. And I think that was really well written, but it just wasn't my thing. So I don't know if I want to give the author a second chance, especially because I've heard people say that The Starless Sea is not as good as The Night Circus. So I'm just gonna say not interested. Okay, Renegades. So I DNF'd this book probably 2 years ago, and I think the idea of it is really cool. I might want to go back to it. Like, I didn't really DNF it for any reason that besides it was just too big. It's a really thick book. But I really like the concept of superheroes. Like, I haven't read that many superhero books. I mean, of course, I've seen Marvel movies, but yeah, I think I'll put that on my TBR. I have not heard of Orbiting Jupiter or The Year After You. Beach Read by Emily Henry. So I've read all of Emily Henry's books except for that one's like The Girl Who Fell to Earth or something like that. I don't know. I think it was her debut novel. But anyways, I think I'm going to put Beach Read in Liked It a Lot. I do think that the name Gus is a little odd. And also January. Like, those are not great names. But I like the concept. It was pretty good execution. I liked it. More Mariana Zapata. Okay, Shatter Me. I was done after book one. I'm not gonna read another Shatter Me book. I do not know why people like Aaron Warner. Maybe he like gets. I mean, I know that he like gets better after a few books, but I hate him. Like, just after reading Shatter Me, it's not my thing. And I think Juliet is whiny, just not my thing. So I'm going to put that one in Don't Want to Talk About It. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. So this is a very cute rom-com. It's just a YA. I really like the love interest, but I thought that the main character was a little annoying. So I'm gonna put it in Don't Think About This, but it wasn't horrible. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read this, like 2 years ago? I don't remember that much about it, except for that it's like a Alice in Wonderland retelling. Besides that, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I think I actually gave it 5 stars. I might want to reread it just to see, like, how it is. But currently I remember it as a Liked It a Lot. The Foxhole Court. The people who are fans of these books are like super devoted, and then everybody else is just like, this is not great. I'm not really interested because I don't like sports romances that are all about sports. not really my thing, so not interested. More Lauren Asher, not my thing. If you hear drums in the background, I've got a brother who's obsessed with playing music, so ignore that. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I've heard really good things about this one. Once again, not really a big fantasy reader, but I think this is gonna go on my TBR. Normal People. I don't know. It's either you hate it or you love it, you know? I think right now I'm not interested, but maybe it'll change in the future. They both die at the end. I read this maybe a year and a half ago, and it made me bawl at the end. I don't usually cry at books, but this one was very sad. I think I gave it 5 stars back when I read it. I don't think I would now. I think I'm gonna put it in, It's like in between Don't Think About It and Liked It a Lot, but I think I'm gonna put it in Liked It a Lot. Summer Suns, never heard of it. Ooh, The Cruel Prince. Okay, I have read this whole series, including How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories, which is 5 stars. It was so adorable. I love that book so much. But the original Cruel Prince, I think I'm going to put that in Liked It a Lot. I love Jude as a character. She's like one of the best protagonists I've ever read, especially in a fantasy book. Verity, once again, another Colleen Hoover, that is going in I Don't Want to Talk About It. Song of Achilles. So, you know, it took me so long to read this one and to get into it. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, I liked it a lot. It was like really well written, but it wasn't exactly my thing, so I'm gonna put it in, probably gonna put it in Don't Think About It, but maybe close to Liked It a Lot. Yeah, something like that. Like, if a book takes me so long to read and like I don't feel like picking it up, I feel like it doesn't deserve to be very high. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, not really interested. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I actually like this book a lot. It's like a cute romance. I like the characters. There's nothing really special about it. I don't really know why other people don't like it. I would have to read more reviews to figure that out, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Heartstopper, would sell my soul to experience this again. One of my favorite TV shows, one of my favorite comics in general. I'm so excited for the next book to come out. Kiss Quotient, I thought it was pretty good. I don't think about it though. So I'm gonna put it in Don't Think About It because it doesn't go up there with like Beach Read and Cruel Prince and stuff like that, but I enjoyed it while I read it. After is going in We Don't Want to Talk About It. I have not read it. I've watched many reviews about the movie. Absolutely horrible. Yeah. Vicious is going on my TBR. I found both Vicious and Vengeful in a book box one time. Also one of my best finds. Night Circus, I am going to put that in Wouldn't Recommend. As you know, I just talked about it. It wasn't really my thing. Iron Widow on my TBR. Daisy Jones and the Six. So I've read this 2 times. I reread it for the TV show. I didn't end up finishing the TV show. Maybe I should, but I thought it was okay. I think I'm going to put this one Liked It a Lot. I think I also gave it 5 stars, but I don't really remember what happened. Even though I read it like 2 times, it's never really stuck in my brain. So it's not up there with like Ninth House or Perks and Being a Wallflower or anything like that. More Colleen Hoover, especially Ugly Love. Both laughed at my son's big balls. That's all I need to say. Six of Crows. Okay, I am going to put this in Liked It a Lot. Like I said, really enjoyed it. It was really good. Inheritance Games. It was okay. I think I'm gonna put it in Don't Think About It because I didn't want to continue the series after I read it. I wasn't that interested in any of the characters. They kind of felt one-dimensional. Wasn't really my thing. Not Here to Be Liked. Haven't heard of that. Six Crimson Cranes. I've heard really good things. It's on my TBR. Pride and Prejudice on my TBR. I want to make a whole Jane Austen video. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like that. Go Girl's Guide to Murder. love it so much. Honestly, I would sell my soul to experience this again. Maybe it's just like nostalgia, but I just distinctly remember being in Joshua Tree and reading this like all in one sitting, and I was like completely gripped, and it was amazing. I just read Killjoy, which is a prequel, which is interesting because I hadn't read the books in like a year, so I didn't exactly remember everything that happened, but I still really enjoyed it. I gave it, I think, a 4.5. Last Thing He Told Me, not really interested. The Atlas 6 is on my TBR. Malibu Rising. I actually got my dad to read this on audio because it was like a free not a free audiobook, but it was like an audiobook that somebody offloaded onto Spotify. I was like, hey, you want something to listen to on this road trip? And he thought it was pretty good. I think I'm gonna put it in liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good. Vanishing Half. Really good book. It's not exactly something that you would think I'd read, but I had heard so many good things about it that I gave it a chance, and I really enjoyed it. It was super well written, and just the connections between all the families and how everybody met up with each other, and the family relationships were just great. I think I'm gonna put it in liked it a lot, because I wouldn't sell my soul to experience it again, but it was still really great. November 9, a man gives a girl burn scars and then guilts her into falling in love with him. Do I need to say more? The Raven Boys. I've heard really good things about this. I'm not sure if I want to read it though, because it's such a big series. Right now, I'm not really interested. Okay, It Ends With Us. This is the only Colleen Hoover book that I've actually read, and boy, do I have a lot of things to say about this one. I'm sure you guys have heard so much about It Ends With Us. It's been absolutely demolished by everybody on YouTube, especially Caleb Joseph. I love his videos so much. He's so funny. But yeah, that is definitely going in I don't want to talk about it. And okay, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this is a Friends to Lovers book. I thought it was really cute. I liked the characters, and the main character had a Danish dad, and my boyfriend's Danish. I'm kind of surrounded by a few Danish people, so that was just interesting to experience. I'd never seen, I guess, Danish representation in a book, but the ending was really, I mean, if you've read it, you know what I mean. It's like kind of up in the air, essay kind of thing, which kind of made me feel a little about it. So I'm gonna say don't think about it, but it wasn't horrible. If the ending hadn't ended up that way, I think I would definitely say I liked it a lot. She Who Became the Sun, not really interested. Once again, kind of high fantasy, not really my thing. More Colleen Hoover. Nope. Going and don't want to talk about it. What does that say? Oh, Pandora's Jar, Women in Greek Myths. I'm not a super big Greek myths person. I mean, of course, I love Percy Jackson and all the Rick Riordan books. Don't support him, though. Anyways. But I'm not super interested in, like, of course, I didn't really like the Song of Achilles. I'm a little hesitant about reading Circe. I am gonna give it a chance, but I don't know. It's just not really super interesting to me, so that one's gonna go not interested. Every Last Word, haven't heard of that one. Not interested, or no clue. This Is How You Lose the Time War. Okay, this is a really interesting book. I listened to it on audio, but I think I should get my own copy and read it again, because it was so elaborate in such a short amount of time, and it told a really great story. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm gonna put that in liked it a lot. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I've heard really good things about this, and it's a duology, so I think I'll give it a chance. TBR. Caraval. So I have read the first Once Upon a Broken Heart book, and I'm going to read the second one really soon, The Ballad of Never After. I've heard that one's really good. But anyways, it's in the same universe as Caraval, and I've heard pretty good things about Caraval, but I don't really know what it's about. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'll put it in TBR. Firekeeper's Daughter, definitely on my TBR. Scythe, okay. I've read about 100 pages of this when I was at camp. A friend of mine had this book and they passed it on, and it was a really interesting concept, but once again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the main characters, kind of like with the Night Circus, so I didn't really want to continue without liking, these characters were destined to do something, but that's all their personality is, like, at least from what I read up to. So I'm gonna put it in not interested because I basically DNF'd it and I don't really want to go back to it. Okay, I think the Hating Game was already on there, yeah. There's a few, yeah, a lot of these are duplicates. I'm just gonna ignore those. But a Thousand Boy Kisses, I've heard that this book is really sad. I don't really know too much else about it, but not really interested. It's not like high on my TBR or anything like that. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. I've heard really good things about this, and of course I want to diversify my reading taste whenever I can, so I'm gonna put that on my TBR. And The Jasmine Throne, I've not heard of that. I think I'll go look it up because it looks really interesting. And yeah, here's our finished tier list. We have, let's see, 8 books in Sell My Soul to Experience This. We've got 12 and Liked It a Lot, 8 and Don't Think About It, 4 and I Wouldn't Recommend, 8 and Don't Want to Talk About It. I don't want to count the TBR, no clue, but yeah. I think I've read most of the very popular BookTok books, maybe except for like ACOTAR and Normal People. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my Goodreads down below, as well as my Amazon wishlist where I have some books on there I would love to receive. That would be amazing. Of course, don't feel pressured to, but if you want to send me a book, that would be so kind. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon.